18-year-old is still an adult. Okay, 19 years old is still an adult. Okay, just because their brain is not developed, that does not give them the right to make stupid decisions. The reason why these kids are so slow, or young adults are not where they should be in the knowledge department, is because they spend so much time on social media. It's your girl Princess Hazel, and we're back with another video. This video is going to be titled Unpopular Opinions, and I have a lot in my iPad, so we're gonna jump right into it. If you guys have not already, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, okay? And if you don't know, I do sell like bratz inspired notebooks, okay? They're very Y2K. And they look really cute. I have one on my dresser. I'm not gonna get it right now because no. But yeah, I do sell bratz inspired notebooks on Amazon. No, it's not an affiliate link. I actually sell the books on Amazon. So if you're interested, they're $10. Some of them are $9. You know, hopefully you guys will buy my notebooks and support my passive way of making income. First unpopular opinion. Avatar: The Last Airbender was all right. Okay, I'll give it 7 out of 10. I'll rate it a 7 out of 10. There's the areas where they can improve so much better. I think Zuko's character carried the entire show.
Been useful in
he ran.
Uncle,
Did I ask for your opinion?
So someone saw ice in a place where no ice should exist?
the street players in these parts are quite good.
I'm sure they are. No! I'm working on it, Uncle.
I think that they're making him soft too quickly. Like he didn't become that soft that fast. You know what I'm saying? Katara's character needs more practice. I don't know what it comes like when it comes to her like water bending. It looks like I am watching a movie, and yeah, they're special effects. Like it looks like they're special effects. It doesn't look like, wow, like this is really cool. I feel like I could do this in real life. Like I don't know how to make sense of that, but yeah, I feel like the special effects on her water bending could be a lot better. So there's that. And Azula and her friends, they don't look like her. I think they act like her, but they don't look like her. They don't look like them at all. But yeah, there's areas that it can be done better. But you know, besides that, I'm still tuning in. They didn't do everything in order, which is fine. And I do think that everyone else besides Azula and her friends was casted so perfectly. I like the videos that I see of them hanging out and having a good time. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Okay, next one. This one is a very unpopular opinion, and y'all may not like me for this one, but when it comes to Nara Smith's kids, them little Rumble Honey and Slim Easy, those are strange names. Okay, I'm gonna say that, right? And people only pretend to like them because you want to vicariously live through Nara. Okay, you love her life, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I feel like we need to have a conversation about how rich people get away with naming their kids the weirdest, strangest, stupidest names ever just because they're rich. Like, people will talk about it for a time, but then they'll get over it and they'll start calling it, like, cute. They'll be like, oh, Rumble Honey is such a cute name. There's nothing cute about that. Slim Easy is not, I'm sorry. It's just, it's a no-go for me. Now I will say this, the comments about like, oh, they're gonna get bullied, and then people will have these think pieces about like, oh, they're never gonna get bullied because they're rich. Like, no, y'all, even if they weren't rich, they would never get bullied for their names. It's 2024. Nobody bullies kids for their names. When I was coming up, I lived in Oklahoma, okay? Not all my life, but in high school, there was this one guy that I knew, his name was A Real Man. That was his full name, A Real Man. They used to call him down to the office like every day. You know, after a while, the joke the laughing at it, you know, it was funny at first, but after a while, people got over it. You know, nobody was bullying him. Nobody even laughed when they called him down. It was what it was, you know? So I don't think people will be bullied for their names, or, you know, Rumble Honey or Slim Easy. I don't really ever think that they would be bullied for their names, even if they were just regular people. But I do think the whole, like, trend of naming your child the weirdest names, like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of pretty names that people don't have. Like, for instance, my name is Jahaziel. How many people in the world do you know that have the name Jahaziel? You get what I'm saying? And like rich people, in their efforts to go out of their way to name like their kids these like horrible names just because they're different, you know, it's just weird to me. Okay, number 3, Carmel is not light skinned. I'll die on that hill. I never really thought Carmel was light skinned. I know there was that video of that darker skinned girl going on about how she's Carmel and she hold up the little Carmel things to her faces, and it just, no. But you know, that's that. But I'm gonna say this, when I think of Carmel, I do think of those light skin, or not light skin, I do think of those caramel candies. I think of like caramel candies, or like the actual caramel color. I'm actually gonna go get my makeup so I can show y'all what I mean. I have this Huda Beauty. I'm gonna try to get it into the camera, but it says salted caramel. What color is that? And this is a company owned by a not white but Middle Eastern woman. You know, it would be brown skin. It wouldn't be for the tone of a light skin girl. I know, because it's the concealer that matches my skin tone, as do so many other like companies that create caramel foundation. I don't really believe that like color equals light skin. If it does, it equals like Sierra on a day where she's like more tan, in my opinion. But yeah, next unpopular opinion. People are way too chronically online when it comes to age. Y'all should not be saying it is pedophilia because a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old are dating. I don't know why people like don't understand that, like, because I feel like the more we do stuff like that, what happens is we erase what actual pedophilia is. I don't know if I can say that word. I might have to bleep that out. But we erase what it means for an adult to be with a minor. You know what I'm saying? We're erasing what that actually means. So I think it's weird when people say that. Also, another thing too, when it comes to age, I don't know what it is with the younger Gen Zers. They always have like this attitude of like, oh, like you're old, so you can't tell me nothing, and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. Like, and it's so strange to me. Like a 25-year-old getting onto you because your behavior is trash, that you, like, they always try to rage bait when it comes to age. Like, baby, 25 years old is not old, okay? Neither is 22. Okay? If you want to hang out or be rude to somebody else that is like, you know, I don't know, 25 years old, 22 years old, and you're 16, and when they clap back at you, your first clap back is, oh, you're old, you're dumb, okay? You're literally dumb. Because, like, I don't understand how, I don't know where y'all get that from. Like, I was in high school 5 years ago. We didn't do that, so I don't know. Number 5, okay? The whole your brain not being fully developed until you're 25 excuse is that, like, y'all, I learned that back in 2017. And you want to know why? The only reason why I learned that was because I used to be a Chris Brown fan, right? Back in 2017, Chris Brown came out with his documentary. I watched it, and guess what they said? They said that, because the psychologist said the same thing about Chris Brown. His brain wasn't fully developed. So when he beat Rihanna and he whooped her bad, you know, it just, you have to understand, he was only 19. That's not an excuse, right? And I was a Chris Brown fan, okay? I used to take up for him, die hard, but that's not an excuse, right? So that's not an excuse for any of these other young people for making mistakes, okay? We gotta make sure we don't backtrack, okay? 18-year-old is still an adult, okay? 19 years old is still an adult. Okay, just because their brain is not developed, that does not give them the right to make stupid decisions. The reason why these kids are so slow, or young adults are not where they should be in the knowledge department, is because they spend so much time on social media, or they didn't have an upbringing where anybody pushed them in life, and that is why. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're not 25 yet. When you turn 25, your frontal lobe doesn't just become, you know, special just because you turn 25. It doesn't just like, oh yeah, like, I am incapable of making stupid decisions because I'm 25. Like, a lot of the times, people that make bad habits in their teenage years, if they don't fix those bad habits, they'll be 40 still making those bad habits. Okay, so I want to put that out there. It's not an excuse, and it's very weird when people bring it up, like when young people do dumb stuff, and they'll just be like, well, you have to understand they're 25. It's too many excuses. You can hold people accountable and not judge them. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. But yeah, okay, low middle class, and upper middle class are not the same. Okay, I want to say this, and oftentimes people understand that low middle class and middle class are not the same, but people think that middle class and upper middle class are the same thing. Baby, no. I grew up middle class. Well, I've been from low middle to middle class, right? And I've also been poor when I was like really little, but for most of my life I was middle class, right? And I want you guys to understand, middle class kids, as a middle class kid, we didn't go on vacations, we didn't get no allowance, we didn't travel like that, we didn't even road trips. When we were going on road trips, it was just like, we got to get to our destination, we can't stop and look around and enjoy the view. And I'm not saying every middle class family is like that, but I feel like when people think of middle class, they think of like white picket fence. And I would, in this economy, and not even in this economy, I've always argued that middle class would be more, or what we deem at the white picket fence would be upper middle class. Okay, for you to have a mom that does not work, for you to have a parent that does not work, not because they can't, but because they just don't want to, or that's just not their thing, or, you know, it is what it is. You would have to have some type of money to sustain one parent not working, okay, or not being paid for their work, because they are working, right, but they're not being paid to be a parent. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that because I feel like a lot of people think that they're the same, and in my opinion, they are not. Next opinion, I want to say this is the 7th one. Okay, most of y'all do not eat fruit or drink water in real life, because if you did, you wouldn't waste your time bragging about it on the internet. That, yeah. Y'all start drinking water for a week straight and start acting crazy. I know y'all don't, because when I go out into the real world, and, you know, let's say I bring my, this is a gallon water bottle, right, with me, people start looking at me like, oh my gosh, like, you drink that much? I don't drink that much a day because you'll overhydrate. But if I drink like 60 to 80 ounces or whatever, people are like, oh my gosh, you drink that much water a day? Like, because a lot of people don't drink that much water a day. That's just, you know, and I don't think that they should be bullied for that. It's not something that's like uncommon, you know, it just is what it is. Okay, I wrote this down to add on to my Rumble Honey and Slim Easy point, but a lot of people will be like, oh, well, did you really expect their names to be Bob and Sarah? No, but you can, like, nobody's naming their child Bob and Sarah. Nobody is expecting anybody to give their child a basic name after carrying them for 9 months. But that doesn't mean you have to give them a bogus name either. And I feel like, you know, people, they always jump to like the worst case scenario. If not one thing, then it's the other. And like, I just don't understand, like, you can find a cute name that's different that nobody else has. Like, it just, yeah, that's that. This is for the younger generation. I'm speaking to everyone over under 25, not over, everyone under 25. I have to read this because this is like, it's a paragraph, so I gotta read it, okay? Do not sell yourself short on learning new things because of what you hear off of the internet, especially when it comes to getting your education. Knowing education does not mean you'll get a solid job. I have a degree, I still don't got a job. That's why I'm doing this, because this is what I want to do with my life. So yeah, but an education is important. Yes, you can become an influencer, but if you don't work towards that, you'll never get it, okay? And that's so true, and that goes to any dream that you want, okay? A lot of people will not get their education because they believe like, oh, I can make more money at Amazon. But I hope you guys do know, at Amazon, you don't move up unless you have a degree or some type of certification. Yes, there are free opportunities on YouTube and anywhere else for you to learn the things that people have with the degree, but are you going to take that time to learn those things? Yes, there are free opportunities for you to get your certifications in certain things, but are you going to take the time to go get your certification? Are you going to put forth the effort instead of just talking about it? You get what I'm saying? I daydreamed about being a YouTuber for years, like since I was 12 years old, and I'm just now starting this journey, okay? I could have had this, and the crazy part was, like I said, I went to college, I got my degree, I graduated 6 months early, okay? So You know, but even with that, you know, a degree doesn't ensure a job. So I'm not saying like you gotta go get your degree if you want to be successful, but here's my thing, you know, if you don't have the necessary skills to do something like in life that is productive without your degree, then you should go get your degree, right? And vice versa, you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't just get your degree and stop because you got to get a job. If you don't have the necessary skills to network or to do the things that are going to set you up for success, then you need to learn them, okay? And I just wanted to say that because I feel like in this generation we talk so down about getting a degree and how, like, oh, those types of things don't matter, and they do. They very much do. Not just because it will get you a job, but also this generation lacks education. I feel like people need to go to school. They need to be educated. They need to get certified. They need to learn something, right? Instead of watching baddies all the time. And I know that's stereotyping, but I'm really not trying to be funny. Like, I feel like we spend way too much time on the internet, way too much time doing things that do not matter, that are not productive to our lives. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you continue to daydream about what you want to do instead of actually getting up and doing it, you will never get there, okay? This is number 9, okay? Ooh. Kids are bad these days because of the bad parenting, not because there's no village. I'm so sick and tired of that excuse, like, oh my gosh, like, we don't have a village anymore. Like, you know, like back in the day, we used to have a village. Y'all, I'm a early 2000s baby. We didn't have no village back then either. Nobody was, you know, doing what people were doing in the 80s with their kids. You know what I'm saying? It's not a village. It's the bad parenting. We need to call it what it is. You know, because here's the thing. You can complain about not having a village, but when people get on the internet and tell you guys about your children, about how bad they are, you get mad. You get angry. You get confused. And you make the lie and you say, I love when parents that have bad kids and their line is, oh, my child makes straight A's, my child is great in school. Everybody's child on the internet is just great in school, which is just so unbelievable because your child's favorite color is the letter B. So I'm trying to figure out, how is that possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, I feel like some parents are very delusional when it comes to their kids and being honest with their kids, but that's what a village is for. They're to help you to be honest, and they don't have to have kids just to, you know, to be honest with you, because some of y'all are funny about that too, which to me, that is also an excuse as well, thinking that people that don't have kids can't tell you nothing. People with kids, what they gonna tell you? What they, if there's no book for parenting, what they gonna tell you? What they gonna tell you? If their kids came out traumatized, what in the world are they gonna tell you? Okay, this is the next unpopular opinion, number 10. Okay, it is not normal to disrespect your parents. Oh my gosh, the way that people disrespect their parents all the time and it gets recorded on the internet, and people will just be like, oh, that's normal, teenagers. Like, no, it's not. It's not okay for your daughter to constantly have an attitude with you. It's just not. Same thing with your sons. It's not okay. Teenager or not, y'all need to start correcting the behaviors of your children, because when they get an attitude with you and they don't respect you, they don't respect anyone else. Okay, and that's not good for them, right? That can really set them up to fail in life because they don't ever listen. Okay, you don't want to be the child or have a child that does not listen, right? Because that stuff doesn't just stop when they turn 18. It doesn't stop for a lot of people until they hit 30. Okay, and that's not okay. It's not okay to be like that, to be going on to the job like that, to be going on to college like that, to be going into relationships and friendships like that when you don't listen. Like, what? Yeah, no. Next unpopular opinion, y'all not gonna like this one. Well, it's not controversial or anything, but I just believe this. I believe beauty is the same in every country. I think when people try to say like, oh, like, you know, no, but the beauty standard is different in Asia because everybody wants to be pale. Yes, because a lot of the people like that I've seen that want to be pale are not particularly pretty people, right? So the only thing that they have going for them in life is to look more white, right? But if you are a person that is beautiful, right, like you're drop dead gorgeous, you're like an India love, or you're like, I don't know, you just bad, you one of them type of girls, right? No matter what race you are, right? Or Megan Fox hot in the early 2000s, Find Destiny, okay? You know, if you're on that level of pretty, you are always going to be perceived as pretty no matter where you go. Okay, I want to just state that, because a lot of people have this notion like, oh, the beauty standard, and they want to tell themselves that to make themselves feel better about how wicked the beauty standard is, which it is. But the reality is that the reason why you go to Miami and nobody likes you is because you're not as pretty as you thought you were. It has nothing to do with the fact that you don't have a BBL or, you know, whatever. You're not pale enough. You're not this, you're not that. You didn't get a lace front. Like, no ma'am. Because if you're really that pretty, you would be pretty no matter where you went, okay? And I know that sounds shallow, but I don't think like that, y'all. I'm just saying that that's how other people think. That's how the world is moving. Money is not everything, but I rather have, like, growing up, I rather have a parent that works all the time and makes a lot of money than a parent that works all the time and makes no money. Because growing up with a parent that works all the time, like, you know, like I did, and we were barely making I don't want to say barely making enough, but we wasn't making no big bank. We wasn't making no upper middle class money, you know what I'm saying? But they still worked, you know? And yeah, and you know, when you watch movies and TV shows and they'll be like, the rich kid will be like, but you guys have a family. They'll always make it seem like middle class and poor families always have great family dynamics, but they're just poor because of the money that they make and the jobs that they have. And y'all, that is a dime out of a dozen, okay? Poor people can have great lives, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them, they be going through the same things that rich people do, but worse because they're poor, right? So our parents work all the time too, but the only difference is we ain't making no money. So that's, you know, but that's my opinion on that. Next unpopular opinion. Y'all gotta teach y'all kids how to stand for something, okay? Y'all know that saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Yeah, that's the younger Gen Z. I know I'm picking on them for a lot, but y'all have to learn how to teach y'all kids to stand for something. I'm seeing way too many people say, oh, well, you know, it's the internet and the peer pressure. I never thought to myself that I wanted to get a BBL at 15. I never thought to myself I wanted to get liposuction. I wanted to get work done. Even now as I'm trying to lose weight because I'm not the girl that I was when I was in high school, or I don't look the same, which is fine, right? But, you know, I've never thought to myself I wanted to get surgery, and I'm not bashing anybody because of that, but I've just noticed with the younger generation, you know, too many people, you're very insecure over things that make no sense. You know, you got to learn how to stand for something, okay? You got to learn how to stand up for yourself. You put your foot down to peer pressure, because my goodness, the excuse can't always be, oh, it's the peer pressure and the internet, and then the internet has existed for a very long time now, and sometimes you just got to turn off the phone, you know what I'm saying? Turn it off. Turn it off. And the peer pressure that they're being pressured by is not always by being insecure or not having enough money. I feel like this generation is too acceptable to peer pressure. That's what I'm trying to say. They're way too acceptable to peer pressure. So it's not always about like things regarding insecurity, okay? It's just too much stuff that's going on, and people will just ignore it and, you know, pan it off because, you know, well, they're young, and that excuse can only go so far. Okay, kids and TV shows. Oh my gosh. Kids and TV shows are extremely disrespectful. I've just been noticing that for my whole life, really, but I'm starting to notice it more and more and more as I begin to watch more sitcom TV. Why are kids cursing? Who told y'all that was okay? And it's not a like, oh, like, you know, we at my friend's house, we hanging out, being teenagers, and then they skip to the scene of teenagers talking like teenagers. No, it'll be like in the middle of like the parent talking to them, and the kid will be like, darn, but they won't say darn. Or they'll be like, she has a big butt, but they won't say butt. You know what I'm saying? And then like they won't even acknowledge the kid said that. They'll just kind of skip over it, and they'll be like, where's my wife? Where's my husband? Where's your brother? Where's your sister? Like, you know, and I'm just kind of like, where do we do that at? Where do we do that at where kids curse and we don't say nothing? Some of y'all are enabling bad parenting, not just in TV shows, but in real life. Because a lot of people, they say like TV doesn't affect them, but like the more TV y'all watch, the more y'all start acting like some of these parents on TV. Like, I'm trying to figure out like, oh, it doesn't affect us. It doesn't affect us. But Bridgerton came out this past weekend, this past weekend, and y'all all got Bridgerton accents. Also, for the people that strongly believe that TV does not affect them, why is it that every time a Love and Hip Hop actress or a Baddie South actress gets into an argument or a fight, you guys believe it to be real? believe Kylie Jenner is going bankrupt. I believe people just say that just to say that. Yeah, who's buying Kylie's cosmetics? You're right. I didn't know anybody that was buying Kylie's cosmetics even when it was popular. Okay, I didn't know nobody in real life. I think I might have known one girl and her boyfriend got it for her, right? But besides that, nobody in real life was buying Kylie's cosmetics. I don't really think that she's going bankrupt. I think that she may not be making as much money as she used to be, but I don't think it's even close to bankruptcy. But the only problem that I have with Kylie Jenner, and like not just her, but even like the whole like Jada Wada situation, this is going into another unpopular opinion that I just made up off the spot. A lot of them have the money to be successful, but they don't want to be successful. They just want to be pretty, you know? A lot of these people on the internet with these like big platforms, regardless if they're famous or not, they're just pretty people with platforms, right? They're not creatives. Hence the reason why their businesses do take a big hit, or they have very bad clothing, or you know, they'll be scamming or committing fraud with their businesses, and they don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to do that. But a lot of them are not creatives because deep down inside, owning a business is not what they wanted to do. What they wanted to do was be pretty and have money for being pretty, right? Or a lot of them have gotten used to getting that money for just being pretty, right? And now that the money is drying up, in certain ways, they're trying to scramble and put things together, which is crazy because it's just like, I don't know, like they could easily have like the top boutique. They could easily have the top stuff, but they don't. And it's a lot of them that's like that. It's so many people that's like that. I'm just like, what in the world? Like y'all could be the top girls in the world, but y'all just don't nobody want to actually put the work in to learn, you know, and the work ain't hard. Yeah, it really isn't. It really isn't hard, especially if you have money. That's already half the battle right there. But yeah, that's that. And last unpopular opinion, I'm so glad to be black because as a fashion lover, I couldn't imagine like being any other race, especially when I see white people talking about fashion. Like these white girls get on the internet and they try to talk about fashion as if they're trying to understand it like it's chemistry, right? They'll be like, oh, I'm gonna predict that these are gonna be the next styles that are gonna be popular and this, that, and the third. And one thing that I'll say this, like about somebody that loves fashion, the first rule of fashion is you know, to enjoy. So the first rule of fashion in my rule book would would be to enjoy fashion, okay? And to enjoy it means that you can't overthink everything. The second rule of fashion would be to not always worry about what's trending, okay? That doesn't mean that you can't like those pair of shoes, right? But like, don't be so quick to throw out all your old stuff because you listen too much to what everybody else is saying. There's a lot of good people that come up with good outfits because they do things in intricate detail. But for somebody like me that loves fashion, that, you know, those things just come naturally. I know I'm not dressed right now, but one day I will be. But anyways, a lot of people don't really love fashion, but they want to understand it because they want to fit in. So then they come up with these outfits that always look off or not put together, not the way that it should be. And it's just, it sucks because fashion is supposed to be enjoyable. You don't have to like do math homework on how to understand fashion. You know, it's just, you know, stop with the whole like, you'll probably never meet Anna Wintour in your life, and if you're not trying to. And that's okay. That's okay. It's not a dig. It's just because of that, you know, stop overly caring. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Those are my unpopular opinions. Okay. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.